Hey, I'm Mike Stroud, and I'm running for Burke County Commissioner, and here's my views and solutions on a lot of things. I'm excited about the trail system. I know those guys down there, they're working hard to connect it all the way from the Catawba River in Valdez, and it's going to have access to Hickory and all those kind of places, and go all the way across the South Mountains, all the way to Lake Lure. I mean, this is incredible to me. You know, now the state's giving some money to get them going, and I seen and talked with Shane and the boys down there, and they're excited. They're walking it out, seeing all the different places, and along the way, it is just mind-boggling some of the views people are going to have. Now, the thing I'm excited about the trail system that they're working on, you know, I'm excited about where it's close to us over there in Valdez, where people can get access to it and stuff like that, but they're going to have adaptive trail system. It's going to be the first one like it. You know, man, North Carolina's leading the way. In Burke County, we want to be right on the front end of anything that we're doing here locally, but it's exciting to see that they're pouring into this kind of thing where we're going to have people that are handicapped, you know, that have those kind of things, because the trails are going to be like 4 foot wide, and they're going to have the berms. They're going to have races, and this is a big demographic of people that like to have access to the trails that normally they wouldn't have access to. So they're making it available for everybody, but they're going to need public support. And, you know, and I'm all about that. I'm all about bringing the money in. You know, the state's giving some, but it's going to take the community. And I'm all about the whole team being informed about it, knowing what it's going on. I think people are going to be so excited that they're going to just help out in any way that can help in the trail system, because it's going to be very awesome. I don't believe there's going to be a cost to the trail system. There might be some registrations if you're going to camp along the way. They're going to have, like, you know, I think primitive type camp spots, because it gets out across there in some beautiful spots that people get to see western North Carolina and the beauty of the mountains, South Mountains and the Blue Ridge Mountains, and all that stuff just kind of coincides right here in Burke County. So I don't think that there's going to be charges in that regard. I think it's going to be public, but they might be having events and things like that. You know me, though, I'm going to make it where, you know, everybody's going to be able to come and participate, because I'm all in on everything we're doing, and that's what I'm excited about, is running and being a county commissioner, so that I can inform people, let people know all the things. People don't know a lot of times what's going on in our own backyard, but if they know, it's not such a struggle on just one person trying to get something done. You get the community involved and everybody knows what's going on, man, they'll gladly help. Well, I'm not sure that they've got it laid out. If you'll check with the Foothills Conservancy, they've got, I mean, they're right here in town, right beside Food Matters in Morganton and the Burke County general offices and stuff like that. You can go in there and talk to Shane and the boys, and they've got maps in there, and they'll show you, and you can engage. We want people to know how this thing is going to work. I'm not sure what the time structure is. I know that they're walking through the briars now, and you know, they're climbing the rocks and seeing what's the best way, and Shane's gave some incredible experiences. You know, he says, you know, everybody thinks that when you're doing something like this, it's really fun, and he says it is, but he says you got to get out there and walk it out and see what's the best way. You got to write a lot of, you got easements, you got a lot of people, that landowners you got to deal with, and can it come across here, and those kind of things. But I think if people see it overall and what they've got tracked out and laid out, you know, it is a process. But man, I tell you what, I think people are going to get so excited in the next few years of all the changes in the leadership and being open with everything, that I just believe that people are just going to come out in droves and help us get done anything that needs to be done. I was just thinking a funny thing the other day. You know, they're cleaning Bethel Park up, you know, and they're going to make it adaptive and all those things, and it's great. And they got all these trees laying down out there. I'd done that 20 years ago. But, you know, they say, well, people, we got trees laying on the ground. I would think, man, you could get the community involved. You could get steel chainsaws, one of the local dealers. You know, you could have a lumberjack competition. And, man, we could get out there as a community and have a big event. Man, that park would already been cleaned up, you know, because everybody likes wood. They need firewood for everybody and make it fun. And, you know, that's what I'm about. I'm about not, you know, putting a burden on everybody that's doing it, but if everybody comes together and does it, you know, and makes it fun, man, it'll be cleaned up, and people have pride in the community again, have pride in the trail systems. And, being a part of Western North Carolina and how we're developing it, Well, that's what they talk about, the Fontaflora Trail, and I'm not sure how the South Mountain Trails. They got a couple of different breakdowns on the sections of the trail as they go from Valdez and on over to Lake Lure, and it's like 4 different sections, and they've got a trail system that's pretty they've got in place now, the Fontaflora, but I don't see where it's tying in there now. They even from the south side, from the Marion, coming up from Marion's side, going up to Old Fort and stuff like that. I don't see how they're tying it in yet. They've got those certain. They got the Oak Hill section opened, and man, that's real. Beginner friendly for the kids. Man, check that out. That's already in place. They're going to tie in and all that, but I don't see how they're tying in together yet, other than the Catawba River and coming over to Valdez and just opening up to that side. But I'm sure we'll get something figured out, because everybody's wanting. We're nature's playground, and so we're going to play in it. What they're doing over at Bethel Park, they've laid that out. The city's laid that out, and they're transitioning the soccer field, and they're making it where the water drains through there better. They had to, because there's creeks runs right through there and runs over to the Catawba. But they're working on all that layout. It's available at the city. If you want to take a look at that layout and what they've got proposed and what they're doing. I'm not sure of the timeline right now. They still got the court show. I know they're going to move some of the bathrooms down to the close to where the pickleball courts and the tennis courts are at. So that's a great thing. That's a long, people want to have, you pull up to a place, it's nice to have a restroom right there at the beginning. So they're going to be doing that. And it's going to be laid out beautifully. I think it's going to be a little bit smaller footprint. But that's just a start. We got some new things that we're doing, I believe, with the community, especially with pickleball and so many different things. This trail system, all that's part of it. The bikers that are coming in and the events for that. So we're going to make it all work. But I'm not sure how all those are going to play out on the time frame. When it comes to pickleball, I think that's one of the biggest trends out, because it's such a family thing, it's such a competitive thing, it's something that's taken the whole nation by storm, and it's such an easy thing for everybody in every level. And I think Morganton is poised to be in a great way that it can be accessible to everybody. We got Catawba Meadows, we got the discus golf, we got the baseball field, we got they're walking over the tree lines and stuff like that with those kind of things. But when you got something like this that could be, like I keep thinking, because of the passion for it, everybody around here. I mean, there's so many people that are tied into pickleball here locally and around the nation, but there's things popping up everywhere. But I want us to be the leader. I think we got to cater to what the people are. It's always public service. And to me, this is something that can bring all of us together. People can rally around it. It can be something that can just be an event that can really shine Morganton and the family place that Morganton is for the kids. And that's what I think is such a great thing about pickleball. And I think we need to be leading the way on that. We've talked about this before, Bones Jones, Lake James, and what they've done, getting, North Carolina TV spot showing them. And they've done a great job up there, but they're right here in Morganton, and everywhere, all the local towns, Valdez and all of them got places to play and courts outside and stuff like that. But there's a real movement or consolidation where people can really go centrally and have a good time. We got all those places over at College Street and stuff like that. I just think we can really bring it up another notch and with everybody's support for it, and really just get the town bustling again. Well, asking the school board, man, we've got some great people in the school board here in Burke County. That's why we want to be real proactive on everything we're doing for the safety of our students and all that kind of thing. That's a whole nother subject. But when it comes to pickleball and the school board of presenting that to like a new sport, a new thing, absolutely. I think every parent around would be like, pickleball? Yeah, I might. Where'd I sign up at? Because the good thing about pickleball, it's competitive. You know, just like any other sport. I mean, it's more competitive than anything else going on out there. I mean, people, all the competitive tennis players, are playing it now, and they're doing it because it's easier for the seniors. Us older people, we feel young in our minds, but we don't want to break our knees on the racquetball court as much or whatever. So pickleball can be played at every school. Yes, I'm all about and bringing that in and spearheading that, because I think you can't lose because you can put 2 pickleball courts on 1 tennis court. So I mean, it's you can at least put a couple of them out there, and you could have 4 of them, and the kids, watch what the kids do. It'll be wonderful, everybody. Well, speaking about safety in our recreational areas, it's all part of the infrastructure to me. I think that's where we got to start, is with how we got things set up, how you get in and get out, and then how you park, and then how people can get out accessible at nighttime. It's lighted. Things got to be lit up. We got some LEDs are amazing things now, and they're cheap, and we can light the place up. People got to feel safe, especially our citizens. We can't be, I'm out there running, citizens out there running. We all got to be protecting one another. It's got to be a community thing. The police officers do all they can. The public safety does all they can. But you got a criminal element out there, people that are, and we got to get rid of that. We got to be on point protecting our citizens, and the best way to do that is with cameras. With lighting, I want it lit up. I want everything lit up. I want all the water towers lit up. I think Morton looked great with all the water. I want to paint them all, but, we'll start with just, lighting things up, lighting the streets up, making things, the sidewalks smooth, making everything accessible. There's nothing, coming out of the shadows and that kind of thing. And the cameras are important. I think you got to know exactly what's going on, man. I believe in that. I believe it's important for people's safety. I think it's very important for our public safety officers to have everything that they need. I'm a little different than everybody else. I'm all about, show me the money. Everybody's wanting money. They talk about money. There's a lot of money out there for grants and things like that, but I'm all about internally making it with manufacturing and things we've got in-house with our people here in Burke County, and that we can generate together as a community. If you get everybody on the same page, you open up the doors, break things back, pull back the curtains, let everybody work, let everybody come up. But everybody's got to do that in regard with the security, with the safety of the police and the public safety. They've got to have the best equipment, the best. I think they just now getting body cameras and things like that. And I'm like, what? There's so much money out there. I don't understand where it all goes. It's kind of like the education lottery. I thought that was, but then all the schools seem like they're broken. They ain't got no monies to do anything, and the teachers have to provide stuff for the kids, and and coming out of their pockets. Same way with the police officers. They want. I don't. To me, that can't happen. We got to be all in the community. I'm saying community, together as a team, man. We supporting our police and our public safety, the best equipment, because they're part of us. They're our citizens too. They're out there with us. They want their families to be safe running the parks. They don't want the bad guys. We got to deal with the bad guys, man. We got to have justice. We got to have the DAs that take care of the laws, that carry it out when the police do their work and those kind of things. It's simple stuff. And we're going to protect the family. We're going to protect the citizens of Burke County. We got a lot of people that's got mental issues and, all those mental health and homelessness, all that kind of thing. I'm all about saying, hey, there's not a homeless person if we can engage with each person. Find out what their situation is, find out where they're from, help them in any way we can. If they're willing to help and do something, if they can operate a phone. It seems like all the homeless people got phones. They're pretty smart. They know where to go and, get things together. If they've got those capacities, I want to engage them to get them a home, but they got to be engaged in the community. We can engage people one-on-one, but if they're not willing to do that, if they're willing to do the hard drugs and choose the hard drugs over helping the community and helping themselves out, they're going to have to move along as far as because I'm concentrating not on the grown dysfunctional, I'm like Andrew, I think it's Andrew Jones on this, save the babies. You got a man in prison, you can help him. There's things out there for him, and he came out of prison, just like Jamie Torres. He's a great example, of how things can turn around. But in the meantime, give him that or give him the elementary school, he's going to choose the kids. And I'm the same way, we can help everybody else, and they've made their choices. They live in their bed. They make their bed, you live in it. There's help for you. You can get out. There's people that are willing to help you. But in the meantime, I'm concentrating on the kids. What can we do for them? I want to bring them up. I don't want to build on the dysfunction. I want to build on the future. And the future is the kids, and they're smart, and I want to have something good for them, and it's got to be safety. And that's going to come within the public safety guys, the police and the firemen being the heroes again, the electricians being the heroes again. All of us, I think the kids should have, they talk about these financial firms, I think the financial firms, Edward Jones and all those places, they should be in elementary school. We should have all these kind of things teaching the kids as we're going along in life. In school, just like it is, in anything, whatever their gifting is or whatever their dreams are. They can dream big, or they can, every dream is big when you're working and you're fulfilling your part in this life. And it comes with the vision inside of each and every one of us. And I want to protect that. I want to offer that. And I believe we can do it together, with safety and security. In dealing with our youth in schools and the school board, as a commissioner, I would be absolutely engaged in everything that's going on, from the security. There's so many of them that they care for our kids here. We care for our kids, and we don't want any incidences in any capacity. So we got to be real on point with that. We can't be laid back. I think we got to be on point with that. We got to be prepared for that. Our teachers prepared for that. Any kind of security type measures, I think we've got to be prepared for that. That being said, with the drugs and all those kind of things, I think everybody knows now. With the fentanyl, situation, heck, it's killed so many of our kids. We know people personally. We know, how, kids can do something for the first time thinking it's something simple, and they're dead from the fentanyl. And the cops, what they're having to deal with, just dealing with fentanyl, because just a small amount, they've already had to resuscitate the cops. Cops got to carry it on them in the car, and for the dogs, for everything. Just say, so that's got to be in place like a fire extinguisher right now. That's the only way I know how to say it. Yeah, we got to be educated in that, because that's where it's at there. And we don't want, people not to be educated in those kind of things. It's sad, that we have to deal with those kind of things, and our society is broken in those ways. But we can still be prepared. We can still be educated for emergencies, especially for our good people. They're out there, like I say, the officers, they got to keep this stuff on them to save their life. And so the public's got to be educated on that. And yes, we've got to stop this kind of stuff completely. It's got to be shut down. We can't have, it's just like our own yards. We lock our doors at night. Me not so much. If you're going to get me, just come on and get me. People in business, I always talk. They say, Mike, your yard's always open. You worry about people stealing stuff. I said, well, if they want to steal something I'm already trying to bless them with, they can steal it. And, the heavens see everything we do, But, I believe in security. And, and people, they just do bad things. And so we want to know who you are. As a commissioner, I think one of the most important things you can do is be transparent. Now, that's one of the issues that it seems like people are having a problem with right now, is they don't seem like that they can communicate with anybody. I know as a business person, I've talked about this, everybody's talked about this, you can't approach anybody. It's like everybody's standoff, or they got their own agendas, or they don't have time for you. They're making things happen for you, but you don't know what they're making happen for you. So I'm all about being transparent. There's easy. Everybody gets communications different ways. You got demographics, they still read the newspaper. Well, the next generation, they're social. They're on their phones. We got computers in our hands now. You can do anything from your phone now. So there's that whole tech generation is coming, and that's what our whole state, 20% of it's towards tech. That's got to be viable. There's people that get their information that way. I'm for catering to what people need. Whatever. How can we help people? What do you need from us as public servants to make this clear? of what we're doing, you know, because like I said, the public's got to have buy-in. They got to feel like they're a part. You know, when I worked at Lowe's, you know, they used to have the slogan years ago, you know, employee owned, because they gave the employees 10% of the profits and whatever it was at the time, you know. So if you feel like you're investing in something, you know, I always look at things from a business standpoint. If you like you're investing in something, you'll be part of it. You know, you feel like you're going to get some of the benefits out of it. And I believe as a community, we got to benefit our citizens, and they got to feel like they're getting services of what's expected out of us and out of them. You know, but the communication has got to be clear, whether it's on the phone, you know, a text. You know, a lot of people like getting the information from text. There's all kind of ways to do it, or the newspaper, or the TV. I'm all about, you know, those kind of things. I like to be in person, you know, talking to people, you know, wherever they're gathered, you know, however they want to get the information. You know, the only time you really have closed doors for things, for commissioners and stuff like that's when it's, you know, it could be personnel, it could be law enforcement kind of things, when it's, you know, those kind of things. But outside of that, man, there's no closed doors for me. You know, it's, you know, I was at the public meeting the other day, you know, and all these people stand up, and man, the people that were standing up, man, were not pleased. There was not a good vibe in the room towards the commissioners, you know. And me, as I was in that room, as I was watching all these people give their complaints or whatever it was about a variety of issues, whether it was the mega site or not being informed about that, or whether it was the, you know, the Fox built guy and how he was promised money, and, you know, from the county and all that kind of stuff, and then the memorial, you know, these people complaining all these complaints, and they're saying same old, but they're getting stonewalled. You know, you can't be like that. There's got to be a change. You can't have all these kind of people complaining all the time. I was sitting in there watching this going on, and I said, I could handle all this in 30 minutes, we'd all be home eating. You know, well, let's take care of yourself. We're going to handle that. You know, I don't know. Things seem to be so drawn out. So much bureaucracy, so much stuff we got to go through. You know, got to check 100 boxes before we understand, yes, you can do that, or whatever. And to me, you got to cut some of that stuff out. Now, I believe in safety first and foremost, because I worked at Catawba Nuclear Station down in Lake Wiley years ago, and it was part of the safety team. We walked this, you know, whatever your department is, whatever you're doing, man, you're looking for, you know, nails, screws, trip-ups, limbs, wires, any kind of thing that can hurt the public or the safety of the people. And it's got to be like that on a simple term in a city, in a county, you know, so that's what I'm all about. Speaking about communication and getting the information out there, we could always put a flyer together, an article, monthly, you know, quarterly, whatever, highlighting all the things that that's going on in the county, those kind of things, and get people's feedback on that. You know, people got to feel like they're engaged, you know, but any kind of thing you can put out like that, a flyer or a brochure or a mailer, a survey, those kind of things, you know, would work well, you know, because just letting people know what's going on and they feel like they're engaged, you know, and, you know, I'm all about those kind of things. Reaching our bilingual community is vital. You know, we will be the minority, you know, 25th. They've been telling us that since I've been in elementary school. You know, I love the Hispanic community. I mean, it's just a wonderful family community. You know, I don't have any problems with they're festive people. They're godly people. They're, like I said, they're family people. They gotta be part of the mix. I mean, that's America. I mean, we're the melting pot, you know. And you know, man, I think if we could judge people and act out the way we judge our foods. I mean, you know, I like soul food. I like Hispanic food. I mean, if we could look at each other like that, you know, it would be so much better if we judged by our mouth. But we don't, you know. But we need each other. We're Americans, man. That's what I get back to more than anything else, you know. That and communicating with the Hispanic people. I mean, they've got to be engaged. I mean, they talk about all the restaurants here in town. Well, they're the only ones working, you know. You know, they say, what about our parks? They're the only ones playing in the parks because they got families. We're spoiled. I don't know any other way to say it other than America. We are spoiled. What are we building? We're building storage places to put all our junk we're going to die with. You know, if you're moving from one place to another, that's different. But I mean, we rent stuff, buy buildings, you know, so that we can put our junk in. where the whole time we could clothe the world. But, the Hispanic people, or, you think about here, even in Burke County, the populace we have here, I think about what's kind of unique to me is what is it, Joara, where the Hispanics, Juan Pardo, they sent up the Catawba River, and they were going to set up we could all be speaking Spanish right now, but, I guess the Catawbas and the Cherokees dealt with them, and they're no longer there, but that was 500 years before the settlers even came to America. So, we're all together one. That's what's so great about America. Everybody's coming here for the American dream. Now we break it down to a local level. I want all the local people to have the American dream, all of us. That's the mill workers. That's the blue collars, the techies, everybody. We all work in conjunction together. But the Hispanic community, I love the Hispanic community. I love their music. Little Guatemala, right here in Morganton, man. I mean, Christian and his wife, Dr. Johansson, that family, they've got wonderful kids. They got an indoor soccer. They're building that side of town up, man. I think, man, however we can help, assist, build, make it better for all the communities, all the different demographics we have. It's because it's all of us. Let's all live together. Let's eat, drink, and be married together, and we can build a better world. Yes, one of the hardest things I think we're facing right now is the workforce. They're talking about that everywhere. You can't build something if you ain't got people to run it. And it's vital. And I keep saying we're going to bring manufacturing here, and we're going to bring, and we've got some good trade school, Western Piedmont and all that stuff set up. Man, we got some good things coming in those regards. But as far as making it work for the individual and having the workforce, I think you got to be creative. COVID changed the way people look at things and do things, and a lot of people want to stay at home now and do those kind of things. But you got to have people out there that's working. Who's going to work? I think you got to be really innovative with your employees. I think if you're innovative with your employees and you care for people and you show them you care and you make them a part, like everything I do with everybody I'm working with, man, everybody's got to come up. Everybody's got to make money. If you're doing services for me, I'm going to pay you good money. I think you deserve it. Thank you for being out here working. And the people, it's like just like Sean. And so many of the safety officers and the police officers out there working, they're working, 14, 15 hours a day because there's not a lot of people to take it over. It's been kind of a demonized occupation, which it should be a hero's job, and it's got to be looked at that way. But, they don't have time with their families. I'm all about thinking smarter, living smarter, being innovative, all those kind of things. I'm all about people having time with their families. If you're working all the time, and it's all just kind of like the old movie Shining, Jack Nicholson, sitting in that big old house, and he's got that big old stack of papers he's been working on all that time, and his wife goes to him and starts looking at him, and says, all work, no play, makes Jack a dull boy, and that's all it was. That's all he'd been writing, It's like me in elementary school when, I'd get in trouble for Miss Thompson talking out or something. She made me write on a chalkboard, and I'd be after school, I will not interrupt class or whatever I was saying, And it's the same way. We got to be, we got to have ways that we can engage people where they can understand how to make things work and how to things come out. On day one, probably the biggest hurdle I would think that I would have, I don't see it as a hurdle. I see it as a win. I see it as an opportunity for everybody to get to meet me, see who I am, that I'm with them, I'm for them, I'm not against them. I'm going to walk the fence line. I got to meet everybody, I got to see everybody, I want to look them in the eye, and these are people, some of them might already know that have, I got to know what's going on. I think the people need to know what's going on, and they want to know that they can talk to somebody, they can approach somebody, and that's been the hardest obstacle. It seems like the door is always shut when you go in a government office anywhere, and so we're going to change that whole narrative, and that comes with walking down the main thing right off the bat, walking the fence line, all the departments, gathering everybody together, and making sure, because people, they probably feel uneasy, when those, that change comes, You know, it can be a good thing, a bad thing, or whatever, you know, but I believe it's going to be a good thing. I think we're moving forward for vision. I believe Burke County is going to be the hub of manufacturing throughout the whole nation. I believe it's going to be the hub for innovation throughout the nation. I believe they're doing all those things in other parts of North Carolina, but we're going to stay right here local. Early voting has already begun. And so we're excited about people getting out. I've already voted myself. March 5th is the deadline. So I want to encourage you to get out there now. One of the ways that you can do it, you can contact me at electmikestroud.com. You can see all the different things we've talked about. I'm excited about being one of the people's commissioner. You know, that's the only way I know how to say it, man. I'm plugged into the people. People know me from here locally, and they know my wife, they know our family, and so we're real people. You know, we make real connections, and we're all in on what we're doing here. So I'm looking forward to serving people and helping people and engaging people. And I'm a customer service guy, so this is going to be easy because it's going to be easy for you, and you're going to see the county really start serving the people, and the people are going to see it and they're going to feel it. I'm telling you. I'll be out and about all till March 5th. You know, we're going to be doing a lot of things, you know, connecting with people, talking with people. Give us a call, let me know, connect with me, and if you need me to come speak or anything like that, we'll make things happen and answer your questions, and because that's what we're about. We're about being open, so here we go. I'm open, you know, use me up. So once again, I'm Mike Stroud, and I want your vote. Get out and vote by March 5th.